Have you ever watched a movie and just thought, what if? What if I'd taken that other job or said yes instead of no? Well, today, we're diving headfirst into a concept that pushes that question to the absolute cosmic limit, the multiverse. We're going to peel back all that Hollywood gloss to get to the real, truly mind-bending science hiding underneath.
Right, so while Hollywood has had a field day with these what-if scenarios, the idea itself is not just some clever plot device. Nope, it's actually a concept with some seriously deep roots in the most advanced, cutting-edge parts of theoretical physics.
And it really all boils down to this incredibly personal and pretty wild question. Could there actually be other versions of you out there, living out the consequences of every single choice you've ever made? It sounds like something straight out of a comic book, but some very serious scientists think it might just be the truth.
I mean, you've seen this concept absolutely everywhere, from the beautiful, chaotic masterpiece Everything Everywhere All at Once, to the massive sagas of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and of course, the hilarious anarchy of Rick and Morty. These stories have made us all pretty comfortable with the idea of alternate realities, but they're all drawing from this deep well of scientific and philosophical ideas that's been around for decades.
So what are we actually talking about when scientists say multiverse? Well, the hypothesis basically describes a potential collection of multiple universes, our own included. And here's the thing, it isn't just one single idea. It's more of a framework that pops up from different fields. We're talking quantum mechanics, cosmology, and each one suggests its own unique way that other universes could exist.
Okay, so with all these different ideas floating around, how do scientists even begin to make sense of it all? Well, they've tried to categorize the different possibilities, creating what you could call scientific blueprints for how a multiverse could actually be structured.
In fact, the physicist Max Tegmark came along and organized the major theories into 4 distinct levels, and each one imagines a radically different kind of multiverse.
Think of these 4 levels as a kind of roadmap. Level I basically says that if space is infinite, our universe is bound to repeat itself somewhere out there. Level 2 pictures these separate bubble universes being born from cosmic inflation. Level 3, that one comes straight out of quantum mechanics, where every possibility literally spawns a brand new world. And then there's level 4. That's the most abstract, trippy one of them all, a universe for every possible mathematical structure.
So let's break this down a bit. Level I is probably the easiest to get your head around. If space goes on forever, then just by sheer probability, the way particles are arranged is eventually going to repeat. That means there are identical regions, other universes, just way, way beyond what we can see. Level 2 is born from a theory called eternal inflation. The idea is that the super-fast expansion of our universe right after the Big Bang is still happening somewhere else, constantly popping out new bubble universes that could have totally different laws of physics. And then you get to Level 3, the many worlds interpretation. Picture this. Every single time a quantum particle has to make a choice, like to decay or not, the universe splits in 2. In one reality, it decays. In another, it doesn't. Both things happen just in their own parallel worlds.
Now, these theories are absolutely fascinating, but they also spark one of the biggest, most intense debates in modern physics. For all its power to explain things, the multiverse hypothesis walks this incredibly fine line between science and pure speculation. And believe me, not everyone is on board.
And this gets us to the million-dollar question, the absolute heart of the problem. Science is all about theories you can test, and maybe even prove wrong. But how on earth do you test for a universe that you can't see, can't measure, and can't interact with? This is the huge challenge of falsification.
And this really shows you the 2 sides of the coin. On one side, you have scientists arguing that the multiverse is the next logical step from theories we already trust, like inflation and string theory. They say it helps explain really big puzzles, like why our universe seems so perfectly fine-tuned for life. But then, critics fire back with a pretty powerful point. If you can't test a theory, it's not science, it's metaphysics, it's philosophy. So this is really a debate about the very definition of science itself.
And the implications of this, they go way beyond a physics lab. Just think about it for a second. If every single possible outcome of your choices actually happens in some other universe, what does that do to your sense of responsibility? Did you really choose to do the right thing, or did you just happen to be the version of you that went down that path, while another you did something terrible?
Yeah, and the criticisms are pretty heavy. The biggest one is that the many-world interpretation has 0 direct empirical support. The data we get from quantum mechanics is all about statistics and probabilities. It tells us what's likely to happen, but it's not a smoking gun for branching worlds. And that leads to these huge philosophical problems. I mean,
If all choices are made, it kind of pulls the rug out from under our ideas of praise, blame, and our whole moral framework.
So if it's this complicated and this debatable, why are we so obsessed with the multiverse? Why does it capture our imagination so much? Well, the answer seems to be that it taps into the deepest questions we have about our own lives.
At its core, the multiverse is just a powerful, beautiful metaphor. It's like a cosmic reflection of our own existence, all the paths we took and all the ones we didn't. It's about the infinite possibilities that are wrapped up in every single moment, and that deep-seated wonder about how things could have turned out differently.
And that is exactly why these stories are so popular. They tap into this collective hunger we all have to understand our place in the universe. Through these stories, we can explore these massive, overwhelming questions in a way that feels personal and relatable. We get to think about our choices, our significance, and the very fabric of reality itself.
Which leaves us with one last really provocative thought to chew on. If there are countless versions of your life playing out across an infinite number of universes, what does that make this reality, the one you are living right here, right now? Does it make it more special, or maybe a little less? That's something to think about. Thanks for joining me.